So, we are trying to make me sound more official. I am doing brakes on this 2000, I don't even know what year it is yet. Let's see what year it is. Man, this nigga don't even know the year yet. Ooh. Girl, please. Girl, please. You tell me. Alright. It is a 05 Honda Civic. They have a grinding noise on the front. It probably just needs a regular brake job. So, I'm going to walk you through checking it out and then doing the brake job if it needs to be done. First thing I gotta do is jack the car up. Jacked up, bro. Yeah, we're gonna get jacked up. What I gotta do is look under there, right under the front license plate holder, and you will see on this car there's this nice arrow. But if there's not, you will see on the metal part of the frame here, dimpled thing, it's like a little notch almost, I don't know what you would call it, a little box on the bottom of the frame. That's meant for putting your jack on and jacking the car up. Jacked up. Here is my trusty old Bessie. And get it right under that thing. Got my nice pad on there. And then jack it up. I set the parking brake, by the way, so the back wheels don't move. I mean, set the parking brake, put some wheel chocks on. You know, bro. Oh, yeah, you just gotta jack it right up there. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You like that? Yeah, you like that? Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, jack it up for me, baby. Oh, yeah, that was good. Next thing I'm gonna do is put jack stands under the car so I don't hurt myself. Okay, so on most Hondas, from my experience at least, under, like right behind the front wheels and right in front of the back wheels on the pinch welds. This is the pinch weld. They have this little lip thing, like an L shape, and that's meant for lifting the car up or jack stands or whatever you want to do with it. So, what I'll do, I like to put some wood piece on top of here, just so it doesn't smash.
Let me smash
the frame. It doesn't matter if it smashes the wood. I don't care. As long as it don't smash the metal. That's what I like. Put it up there as much as it'll go. I'm going to jack this up a few more times. Oh, yeah. Oh. Alright, so there's that side. I'm going to do the other side. Not too difficult. No, it's not. I think you could figure it out because you're a thought. 1 piece of wood. 2 pesos. Other side of the car, same deal. Right behind the front wheel. Just gonna put the jack stand right under that crimped over part and then just lift it up as high as it'll go. Make sure it's centered that way. I mean, see, this idea, if it crushes the wood, it doesn't really matter because it'll drop on this metal piece anyway. Now I'm gonna back this down. Remember, it helps to have the parking brake set or have wheel chocks, then the car won't move so much. Just slowly let it down the jacks. Oh no, put it. Come on, jack me up again, baby. Oh yeah, jack me up again, please. Oh no, Mr. Car, you just gotta wait till later till I'm done. Alright. Sometimes it can't help itself. So next thing we're gonna do is take off the brakes. Well, that's kind of obvious. So I guess really the next thing we're actually gonna do is take off the wheels. They have 4 lug nuts and they look like 19mm. So I'm going to turn my compressor on, get this boy out. If you don't have an impact gun, you probably want to, if you're doing it with hand tools, loosen the lug nuts while the car is still on the ground so that the wheels don't just spin. But lucky for me, I have an impact gun. Putting some little droppers in there. I missed because I was looking at the camera. It is not a 19. Oh, that's an 18 socket. Never mind. Maybe it is. 19 mil. Yep. Oh! Set the wheels off to the side. What you're looking for is right there. I'll kind of show you in the new ones more, but there's a steel backing plate And then right inside of that, there's a little bit left of this. That's the actual pad material. So that one's pretty low. After seeing so many of them, you know how low they are. And if you look at new ones, you can compare to that and see how it should be. This one right here, this is the inner one here. This is the caliper itself. This is the piston. This part right here is the pad, and this is the rotor. You could see. I can turn that. But this is the steel backing plate of the pad, and there's no pad at all. It's just a steel backing plate rubbing on the rotor. That's that. Now I'm going to check the other side the same way. Outside brake. Still a little bit of pad left. You can see this is the backing plate. And this is the pad itself. So that one's not horrible, but inside one. This is the backing plate, and the pad is very thin. So that's what I'm going to do, a front brake job. Next, what I'm going to do is I will take off the caliper and make sure these slides both are moving in and out easily. And I'll show you what I mean in a second. It's pretty easy. You got this top bolt right here. And it will come out. And then you got the same thing on the bottom next to these little rubber pieces right here. So take those out. I'm going to take them out with my impact gun. Help me! So what I'm going to do is now chain up this caliper to the spring, strut spring up there. I have a chain. You could use a bungee cord or a little piece of wire or string or whatever you want. But I have this nice chain with that. I made hooks on the ends of it. I just bent the links open. So all I do here is hook it on up there, pick the caliper up, put through this hole. And this is just to take some of the tension off of the caliper hose when it's hanging, because you can damage those hoses. That's all. Next thing you're going to do, this is called the caliper bracket, this piece. This is the old brake pads. Just going to pry them out of there, take them out of their hand, whatever you got to do, just get them out of there. We already looked at them. No, they're a bit thin. The other side's grinding. This side has a little bit of stuff left on it, but the other side's grinding, so needs to be replaced. Put those in the metal recycle bin. LeBron James. Alright, we got the pads off. Next thing you're going to do is we can take the whole bracket off. So to do that, you are going to need to take out this big bolt and this big bolt right here. It looks like an 18 or 17 maybe. Let's see if I'm right. Let's try 17 first here. It is a 17. Alright. So yeah, I'm going to take those two off. Then. Alright. This is where you want to check the thickness of your rotors. If they are above the minimum thickness, you can have them resurfaced at a local machine shop or an auto parts store that does brake rotors. Like around me there's an O'Reilly and a Napa down the street that do brake rotors. You know, just call a few places, you'll find somewhere. If the rotors are too thin or they're really very nasty looking, then you can probably just get new rotors. I like to get better rotors. It's because sometimes you get the cheap one, they'll warp easy and they won't have even braking. Sometimes they won't feel that great. You know, sometimes they'll squeak, but you know what? That stuff's not important to you, then just get the cheap ones. But yeah, so I like to resurface them when I can instead of replacing because number one, it's less wasteful. And number two, since I like to buy better quality rotors, it's actually cheaper to resurface them. Alright. I will now measure these. Just have a cheap, like long reach caliper here for these rotors. So right here we're getting 0.816, 0.818. You gotta measure it all over the place. 0.818. These are inches, by the way. 817, 818, 821. Turn it a little bit. Check it again. 819. 819. Okay, so pretty much the 818 818, 817, 817 thousandths. For this side is the lowest I see. I measured the other side that was grinding. It was a little bit less at 791 thousandths. I called the auto parts store where I have my brake rotors turned, and they said the minimum is 748 thousandths or 19 millimeters. So my .791 is pretty good above that .748 or 748 thousandths. So I can have these turned and reuse them. So what I'm going to do now is I will take these rotors off. These have two number 3 Phillips head screws on them. And really good tool to have for these is, it's called an impact driver. It like is a spring-loaded thing, and I'm going to twist it counterclockwise and push some spring pressure on it and just whack it with the hammer good times, and it'll break that loose. Easy, easy. Every once in a while I'll need to heat them up with a torch, these screws. These ones were pretty easy. If you live in somewhere that doesn't spray salt, electrolytes all over the road and makes things rust super bad, then you probably won't ever have a problem with those screws. Look at that, rotor came right off. Alright, just to let you know, if the rotor doesn't come right off like that, because you live in Rust World, USA, like I do, you can, if you're careful not to hit the studs, smack this part of the rotor pretty hard with a hammer repeatedly. I have an air hammer that goes and around, then it'll come off much easier than hitting with a regular hammer, but if you want to smack it around here, that should loosen up the rotor. You don't want to smack it on this part or out here or anything, because you can warp it. I mean, even though I'm getting them turned on a lathe and getting them refinished, I still don't want to risk hitting them over here. So, yeah. Take that to the store. Get them finished. Ready? 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 There's the box. There's a scrap box. There's a scrap box. Ready? LeBron James! LeBron James! Oh! I'm going to the store. Hi-ho, the Dario. I'm going to the store. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm going to try to get this guy, the auto parts store, to let me take the camera back by the brake lathe. I'm going to use my cunning wit.
So first thing, you make sure the adapter fits inside there. Okay?
Alright.
Make sure the cone.
Why do they call you Colonel?
My last name is Sanders.
That's why. Oh, it's a reverse thread on there?
Yep,
That's interesting.
so don't back off.
Just makes the rotor flat again.
Right.
Like a new surface on there.
Right.
Yeah, so you got them 2 little cutting bits on there, and then we'll just slowly skim the surface on the rotor and take a little bit off at a time.
Back in the old days, there was more meat on the rotor. So.
Yeah. Handle goes by itself. That's it, just shaving it off, and that'll move out really slowly.
It'll be out. The one thing you can't, it might feel right, but you can see how it touches and it doesn't touch.
Yeah.
So you can't see that with the naked eye until you put it on the machine, and you can actually see how tapered or how.
Yeah. See, it's like you hear going. It's not constant scrape.
Touch away.
So it's not actually completely flush.
Correct.
It's not completely, it has some run out, almost
and
saying.
It feels, you know, the other side was rough, but this side didn't feel too bad, so you can't see how imperfect that is.
Alright, and I'll come back in a bit. Got him. Next thing we're going to do here is go like this. And then, after that, we're just going to look over this bracket here. First thing I'm going to do, since my pads come with these new little things here, take these things off. Mine do. A lot of times what I like to do is, let's get a wire brush, yes, let's do it now. Let's get a wire brush, I'll show you how. In here, kind of like clean some of the rust out of here, because I live in a rust area, and this one's actually not bad. Usually I use a power tool for this. So I'm just going to wire brush, get all the loose stuff out of there to get all this crap out. But this one seems like it's pretty non-rusty. Keep in mind I live in Ohio. Rust World, USA. Rust World, USA, proudly serving your needs since 1924. Giant salt mine under Lake Erie, proudly serving your rust since 1928. Thank you. I'm going to test fit the new pads on here, because sometimes, if it's rusty, like I said, you will need to clean more rust off. You don't want it to be jiggly loose, but you don't want it to not go. You don't want it to not slide. You have to force it through there either. So now that I've verified that it slides through, do a little final crust removal here. That's done. I am going to yank these out. All you do, you like hold this rubber so it don't rip or something, and then you can just twist, grab that rubber, kind of just pull it off. Look at that. One of these pins has this little rubber ring on it. I'm going to show you what I mean. So that little black part on the end. So you're going to set it on the side that it came out of, so you remember what side it came out of. This other side, just grab this rubber, pull it down, kind of twist, and you're pulling up on this metal thing too. All right, pops out pretty easy, no problemo. This other side don't got a rubber piece on the end. Then on this, just kind of squeeze and pull, kind of work it out in a circle. And these rubber things will come out too, these little rubber boots. Same thing with this side. Alright, so there's a bunch of old grease in those holes. That's what she said. I like to fill up these holes. Oh yeah, I like filling up those holes. Chris, that's not nice. Alright, please just rest. With some brake cleaner, because I don't know what kind of grease is in here, and I don't want to have any compatibility issues with this, whatever grease I'm using. Just because I've read that certain kinds of grease don't go good together, and I'm not sure what kind this is or what kind is in there. I'm going to let that sit for a second while I wipe these pins off. If anyone knows what this little rubber thing is, or like where it's supposed to go, like if I ever get one lost or something, you can let me know in the comments, that'd be great. I would just put it back where it came. Usually, I mean, I never had any problems. I'm assuming even if you don't put it back in the right one, it would probably still work. But, I mean, I know it would still work, but I don't know if you have extra noise or something. Alright, so I wiped those pins off, wiped all the grease off. On these, you can wipe them out, just get all the excess old grease off. If you want to spray them out with a brake cleaner, that's fine. Blast it out of there. I'll blast you out of there. Now we've done that, I'm going to get our oil pan or catch pan or whatever, and just dump this old brake cleaner out. Get my brake cleaner with the straw in that hole and just shoot it out of there. Turn it upside down. Chris, that's not nice. Alright, please just rest. I have a little brush that goes in here, like a pipe cleaning brush. I mean, just want to get all the extra grease out of there. Being super picky about it. Most people aren't this picky about it. Let that dry for a second. Maybe even blow it out with your air compressor if you have one. If not, and just wait underneath. What I'm going to do, I take this brake caliper grease, whatever, brake parts lubricant. I take this little screwdriver and just put a bunch of that purple stuff in there. Good to go. Apparently my phone ran out of storage space when I was recording. But anyway, what I would do is take the little rubber boots and put some grease around the bottom of them where they fit into the bracket. And I put grease in the bottom of them so that they seal better and they don't rust where they go into the bracket. And then kind of weasel them into the bracket. Sometimes you gotta like crunch them up a little bit and push them in there. And then after I got those little rubber boots in, I get my pins and I lather them up those with the grease. I press the pins into the bracket where they came out of. Press them in there, twist them around a bit, get the grease around, and that's about it. Make sure the rubber seals around the top of the pin. Near the top of them, there's a little groove where the rubber boot is supposed to sit in there. Sometimes if you put a little bit too much grease, it's hard to push them in. Usually you can kind of work it in and out, or like push it kind of hard until it goes anyway. Usually I can make it work, so you know, that's that. I spray this stuff, it's like corrosion protector, it's just like oily stuff, onto the parts where these new little things here, they're going to say, you could use some of that brake parts, lubricant, you could use nothing, really. There's just a lot of rust in this area, so I like to use some. I'm going to get these things, and they snap into place, just the way the old ones did. I got this back from the future! Back from the store. Put that on first. You know what? Yeah. You know what? You can just think you do whatever you want to me, huh? Chris, that's not nice. Alright, please just play. Chris. I have some anti-seize lubricant. It makes the screws not rust in place solid forever and go bye-bye. Just rub some on the threads, put them in the holes. Yeah, you like that? I already put anti-seize in all of these. Alright, so I put those rotor screws in. Tighten them down. Also, I sprayed the hub with some of that anti-rust oil stuff. Next thing you're going to do, take your bracket that we worked on before. You got the bracket bolts, and I put anti-seize on those as well, because I live in Ohio and everything rusts. If I didn't live here, I wouldn't put on really barely anything. Pal.
I work till noon.
Is that a good view of my ear? Yes, Chris, it is. Listen.
I listen, and it turned on.
Alright, so take the new brake pads after I bolted the bracket on, and this is that brake lubricant. Just touch it to the end and to the end of there. I already put it on here, but I just wanted to show you. Just kind of rub it on the end of the brake pad. You don't get it anywhere where it's going to ever touch the rotor. Then after you put it on both sides, you just put the top in, push it in, and line the bottom up, and it should, with a little wiggling, just pop in like that. This one already greased on the ends. Most people don't do stuff like that, put a grease on there and stuff, but it'll help them from freezing up and everything. This one, same thing. I put the bottom in, let's pop the top in. Good to go. Now, take my caliper down. Alright, I'm gonna put on the top pin first. So I put anti-seize on these already too, because these bolts get stuck sometimes. Gotta line that up right. Put it over that. Give me the other bolt. Make sure your brake hose isn't twisted or something. It should be pretty straight and not stressed. 12mm socket on there, and just tighten these up like medium force, because you can break these if you really crank on it. Pretty much done. Put the wheels back on. I guess I'll show how to do that too, because why not? Because it's a video. Oil, metal protector stuff again. I usually put a little, it's almost out, put a little spray in the back of the wheel. Usually aluminum wheels might get stuck to the steel hub. Place that up there. Hand tighten your lug nuts. And then after you get them down, I'm going to lower the car until some of the pressure's on the wheel so the wheel won't turn. And then I'll use a torque wrench and set them to 80 foot-pounds. So that's it. That's that. It's mine, bro. It's mine. It's all mine. I got all the cars. I got all the cars. All the girls like me because I got 100 cars. Yeah, they're all mine.